Dear students, in this class, let us discuss about factors affecting the position of equilibrium or Le Chatelier principle. We have already learned things about equilibrium reactions. There are certain reactions which takes place both in the forward and in the reverse or backward direction. If the forward reaction and the backward reaction takes place with the equal speed, the reaction is said to be in equilibrium. So those reactions are said to be equilibrium reactions. And what are the factors which affect the equilibrium reactions? It is studied under the heading Le Chatelier principle. There are certain factors such as temperature, pressure, and concentration which alters the position, which affects the equilibrium reactions and not the catalyst. Concentration is one factor. Number two is the temperature. Number three is the pressure. Okay, and catalyst would not alter, because you might have studied in the characteristics of a catalyst. The role of a catalyst is only to hasten the approach of equilibrium and in not shifting the equilibrium either towards forward direction or towards the backward direction. So let us ignore the term catalyst as a factor to influence the reaction. Okay, so only these three, concentration, temperature, and pressure, will alter or affect the equilibrium reactions. Okay, now what does the Le Chatelier principle says? According to Le Chatelier principle, if any factor which is altered, such as temperature, pressure, and concentration, the equilibrium will shift in such a way that it tends to undo the effect of the stress, undo the effect of the particular factor. That is, if the equilibrium is stressed by temperature, pressure, or concentration, the equilibrium will adjust automatically or by itself. It tends to undo the effect of the stress. This is what is called a Le Chatelier's principle. Okay, so we are going to see how the Le Chatelier principle works. So Le Chatelier has studied several equilibrium reactions and he has noted down the correlations between the factors like temperature, pressure, and concentration on various equilibrium reactions. So with the data he has arrived, okay, with several reactions, he has come to the conclusion, okay, that is called, the conclusion is called a Le Chatelier principle. So if the equilibrium is stressed, it will adjust itself in such a way that it will tend to undo the effect of concentration. Okay, so I will give you, let us take the first example, concentration. How the influence of concentration, okay, change of concentration affects the equilibrium reaction. Okay, so let me take this example, Fe3 plus aqueous plus SCN minus aqueous. This gives you Fe SCN 2 plus. So this is a ferrichloride substance. Okay, this one is called a sulfur or thiocyanate. What you can say is a potassium thiocyanate. potassium thiocyanate. So this is pale yellow in color. This solution by looks pale yellow in color. Thiocyanate is colorless by nature. This is colorless by nature. This is iron thiocyanate complex is dark brown in color. Okay. So let us see how the influence of concentration works. Okay. So if I increase the concentration of ferric chloride, okay, Fe3 plus ion, or if I add upon this Fe3 plus salt in the particular solution, what would be expected is the solution which is pale yellow color becomes very much deeper in yellow color. Pale yellow color would increase. Okay, but contrastingly, the pale yellow color doesn't increase its intensity. But if I increase the concentration of Fe3 plus, the solution becomes more dark brown in color. Okay, that means the equilibrium, you increase the concentration on the reactant side. Okay, the reactant, if you increase this concentration, actually equilibrium will be more, it will be more favored toward the reactant side. Okay, so but what actually happens is the equilibrium adjusts itself in such a way to balance the forward and backward reaction that it increases the concentration of iron thiocyanate complex, so which becomes dark brown in color. So by increasing the concentration of iron thiocyanate, the equilibrium is maintained, balanced, without, even if you increase the concentration of ferric chloride. Okay. So similarly, when you increase the concentration of thiocyanate ion, we expect that the colorless nature of the solution should increase. But contrastingly, iron thiocyanate gets formed and more, the solution becomes dark brown in color. So if on increasing the concentration of thiocyanate, the equilibrium try to shift towards backward side, but it undoes the effect of concentration and gets shifted towards the opposite side, gets shifted towards the product side. So as a result, what happens? The solution becomes dark brown in color. Similarly, if you increase the concentration of iron thiocyanate, okay, the equilibrium will adjust it in such a way that solution become pale yellow by nature. Okay, so this, instead of increasing, if I increase the concentration of iron thiocyanate, I expect the dark brown color will increase, intensity will increase, but it doesn't happen. But instead, the ferric chloride, pale yellow color, intensity increases. That means the equilibrium shifts in such a way towards the backward direction and maintain an equilibrium. Okay, so this is the effect of concentration. If I increase the concentration of iron thiocyanate or ferric chloride, the reactant side, if I increase the concentration of reactant, the equilibrium gets shifted towards the product side. If I increase the concentration of product, then the equilibrium will get shifted towards the reactant side. Okay, so that is the influence of concentration, and which proves that the Rayleigh-Chatelier principle holds good. Okay, now let us go into the next factor, which is the temperature, effect of okay. So for this, I take down this N2O4 in gaseous state decomposes to give NO2, which is also in a gaseous state. And delta E for this reaction is equal to plus 59. So look at this reaction in which N2O4 decomposes to give you 1 mole of N2O4 decomposes to give you 2 moles of NO2. Okay. So here the thermochemical parameter is given. Delta E is equal to plus 59 kilojoules. Okay. That means the reaction is highly endothermic by nature. The forward reaction that is favoring N2O4 formation is endothermic. Okay. What do you mean by endothermic reaction? The reaction which accompanied by absorption of heat is called endothermic reaction. On the other words, the reaction which takes place with the evolution of heat is called exothermic reaction. So in this case, this particular reaction is a endothermic reaction. When the reaction goes on, the heat is getting absorbed. Okay. Now what is the effect of temperature? If I increase the temperature of the particular reaction, then the temperature of the system will increase. So that will affect the equilibrium either towards the left hand side or towards the right hand side. Okay. So what happened, instead of increasing the temperature, if I increase the temperature, instead of the system rises its temperature, it gets reaction undergoes a cooling effect. Okay. So as a result, what happens, the heat is getting absorbed and the heat is absorbed, and hence what happens, the formation of NO2 is favored. Okay. So by raising the temperature of the system, the forward reaction NO2 is favored. Similarly, the backward reaction is said to be a exothermic reaction. Is an exothermic reaction. So this reaction is accompanied by backward reaction is accompanied by liberation of heat. Okay. So when I decrease the temperature, what happens? If I decrease the temperature, then the equilibrium will adjust in such a way that it will favor the formation of N2O4. Okay. So this one, heat liberation will start. So if I increase the temperature, then the reaction becomes endothermic, the cooling effect starts to take place. Whereas if I decrease the temperature, the equilibrium will adjust in such a way that heating effect starts to take place. The reaction, exothermic reaction, it is more favorable to exothermic. So increasing the temperature favors the endothermic nature of the reaction, decreasing the temperature favor the exothermic nature of the reaction, backward reaction. Okay. So similarly, we can have one more example, that is the Haber process of synthesis of ammonia. So if you know, N2 plus 3H2 gives 2NH3. This is the Haber process of synthesis of ammonia. Okay. And the thermochemistry, delta E of the reaction is equal to minus 92.5 kilojoules. So what is the nature of the reaction? When delta E is negative, then the reaction is said to be an exothermic reaction. The reaction takes place by the liberation of heat. Okay. So the forward reaction is exothermic by nature. Combination of nitrogen and 3 hydrogen to give 2 ammonia molecule is an exothermic nature reaction. Is it clear? So if I increase the temperature, what happens? If I increase the temperature, then the temperature of the system should increase. But if it increases, the equilibrium will be disturbed. So in order to balance this, in order to undo the effect of temperature, what happens? If I increase the temperature, then formation of ammonia will be disfavored. Production of ammonia will be very less. So the equilibrium will shift towards the left hand side. Okay, because it is exothermic, the cooling effect starts to take place. Okay, so similarly, if I decrease the temperature, the equilibrium will be favored more towards the right hand side. Again, the equilibrium adjusts in such a way that it favors the formation of ammonia. So by decreasing the temperature, you can get a more yield. Okay, so to how much temperature? Yeah, but it is approximately in industries the 500 degrees centigrade is maintained. 500 degrees centigrade for this particular reaction is neither very low not very high. Okay, but if I increase the temperature, I mean at this temperature at 500 degrees centigrade, the yield is very poor, but still it is very economical for the industrialists because they need not wait too long time to get a very high yield. So 500 degrees centigrade will be optimum, okay, to get sufficient yield of a ammonia at a lower temperature. Okay, now let us move on to the next parameter, which is called pressure, effect of pressure. So this is a reaction. We are going to learn the influence of pressure N2O4, okay, to give 2 NO2. That is 1 mole of N2O4 on equilibrium to give you 2 moles of NO2. Okay. So if I increase the pressure, what happens to this system? Okay. If I increase the pressure, you know, upon increasing the pressure, the volume will reduce. Okay. Because pressure and volume are inversely proportional to each other. Upon increasing the pressure, the volume of the system will reduce. So if the volume is reduced, the number of moles per unit volume in a system will increase. Okay. So upon increasing the pressure, the system tends to move to the direction of increase in the number of moles. Okay. So as a result, what happens? This reaction favors increase in the number of moles. So from N2O4 to 2NO2, the number of moles increases to 1 to 2. So if I increase the pressure, the volume will decrease. As a result, what happens? The number of moles per unit volume will reduce. Okay, number of moles per unit volume will reduce. Okay, so therefore what happens? The equilibrium will shift in such a way in order to, upon the pressure will shift. Okay, the equilibrium towards this side. So this favors the formation of N2O4 better, and hence the equilibrium will be maintained. Okay, so we actually expect that when the pressure is increased, more amount of NO2 will be formed. It's not the case. Okay, the equilibrium adjusts under the stress. Okay, and in such a way to maintain the equilibrium. Okay, it shifts either forward or backward, and the equilibrium is maintained. So this increase of pressure will favor the formation of N2O4. Similarly, by decreasing the pressure, the volume will increase, and hence the number of moles per volume will increase. So that will shift the equilibrium, will shift towards the right hand side. Okay. Similarly, in the other case, say you have N2 plus 3H2, you have NH3. So the 1 mole, you have 1 mole of ammonia, 3 moles of hydrogen, 1 mole of nitrogen and 3 moles of hydrogen. You get 2 moles of ammonia. So here you have 4 moles totally, there are 2 moles. Okay. So what will be the case here? If I increase the pressure, if I increase the pressure, the number of volumes will decrease. Okay, so and hence the equilibrium shift in such a way that from 4 moles to 2 moles. So this leads to increasing the pressure, leads to the formation of ammonia. High. Okay, the yield of ammonia would improve upon increasing the pressure. So, but if you decrease the pressure, the other side, at low pressure, the reaction favors the formation of nitrogen and hydrogen from ammonia. The decomposition of ammonia starts to take place. Okay, so let me conclude the Le-Chatelier principle. Okay, so according to Le-Chatelier principle, if a equilibrium is subjected to stress, the equilibrium will undo the effect of stress and in such a way that the equilibrium is maintained, the stress is minimized. Okay, so the three factors which affects the position of equilibrium, one is the temperature, another is the pressure, another is the concentration. If I increase the concentration on the reactant side, the equilibrium will get shifted toward the product side. If I increase the concentration of the product, the equilibrium will shift towards the reactant side. Okay, so that is was the case with the ferric ion reacting with thiocyanate to give iron thiocyanate complex. Okay, the second case, effect of temperature. Okay, so N2O4, decomposition of N2O4 to NO2 is endothermic by nature. If you increase the temperature, then reaction starts to produce cooling. Okay, it favors the formation of NO2. If you decrease the temperature, it favors the formation of N2O4. The effect of pressure. If I increase in the pressure, then the volume will decrease. The number of moles per unit volume will decrease. So equilibrium will shift towards less number of moles upon increasing the pressure. Similarly, if I decrease the pressure, the equilibrium will shift towards the more number of moles. Where the more number of moles. It doesn't matter whether it is a reactant side or it is a product side. So we have seen two cases where the reaction in this case favored to the reactant side. Here, increasing the pressure favors toward the product side. Okay, so of the three factors, okay, the equilibrium undo the stress. Okay, and the catalyst doesn't shift the position of equilibrium, it only hastens the approach of equilibrium. So with this, let me conclude this topic. So if you have any questions, you can raise the comments. So, and for third BSc students, this syllabus is complete. So we have dealt with first surface chemistry and part 2 catalysis, and then we have dealt with chemical equilibrium. Okay, and so with this topic, the syllabus is over, and hereafter we are going to only revise the subject. Okay, if you have you will have to go through the subject frequently, and whenever you have a doubt, you have to ask me during the revision. Okay, so let me conclude. Thank you.